Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick dropping in on you. Hope everybody is having a great start to your week. It's Tuesday. I hope that things are flowing and going the way you want them to. But please understand, as I've often said, and will continue to say, that this is a journey, this is a process. And sometimes it's not going to look the way you want it to. It's not going to feel the way you want it to. You're not going to be where you feel you should be. Just remember that if you're still breathing, you are still in the fight. That is a part of my warrior creed. If I'm still breathing, I'm still in the fight. If I'm still in the fight, I still have a chance to win. And that's what I'm fighting for each and every day. Yes, I'm measuring my steps. Yes, I'm measuring my progress. Yes, I'm aiming at goals. But it doesn't mean that if I don't hit a goal in a certain time, I quit. It doesn't mean that if it doesn't seem and look and feel the way I think it should, I give up. It means that I'm in this to go the distance. I'm not turning around. I'm not giving up. I'm not surrendering. I'm not retreating. I'm pressing through until I hit the finish line. And that's what I want to challenge you to do. This isn't about how smart you are, how many resources you have. It's not even about the best plan. All those things are great, but it's only 20% of it is planning. Only 20% of it is being in the right place. Only 20% of it is having the right connections. The other 80% is your literal psychology, your mindset, your mentality. What does it say? My mindset says no surrender, no retreat. I don't quit. I don't give up. I don't turn around. And because of that, I can look back over my life and see a bunch of things that have happened for me that would not have happened and that most people will never experience because they quit, because they turn around, because some of them refuse to even start. Today, is the day that you transform. This is why I'm here. It's time to transform your life. I don't mean the micro. I'm talking about literally taking the steps to change your life. If you don't have the things you want in life, it's not because it's not possible. It's because you're not in the right space in your thinking. You're not in the right space of your habits. You're not in the right space of the circles that you're involved in. You're not in the right space of setting your goals and aspirations and trusting and believing. You are the prime result of your ultimate faith. It is what it is. You can get upset, you can be disturbed, but you are going to always get what you expect. God meets you at the level of your expectations. God, the universe, life, however you want to view it, is never going to give you beyond what you believe you can have. What you believe you can have is going to change the energy you emit, it's going to change the thoughts you entertain, it's going to change the actions you take. And ultimately, you will become what you believe, and what you become is what you produce. It's not about what you want. Life doesn't give you what you want. Life gives you who you become, because who you become determines what you can produce, what you can create, what you can achieve. And that's the ultimate goal. It's time to transform. Right now, today, I want to tell you about an awesome limited opportunity. I'm only taking 25 people, but a limited opportunity for a rapid transformation session. But here's the beautiful thing. I'm giving you two rapid change transformation sessions for the price of one. To work with me in one rapid change session is normally $550. In that rapid change session, I'm talking, I have a 100%. I have never had a client tell me they weren't satisfied. I have never had a client say my life has changed. Matter of fact, 70+% of the people who do this end up working with me long term. You would be surprised at what can happen in one session. And I'm giving you two sessions because here's what we do. I have spent 30 years mastering some unbelievable disciplines, including psychology, quantum psychology, neuro-linguistic programming, embodied cognition, transformational vocabulary. I created the concept of visionetics, which is the ability to visualize beyond the circumstance to literally create an idea. You understand this, that the mind and the brain does not have the ability to distinguish between what's being imagined and what's being real. When you can vividly visualize an outcome, you can literally create a memory of that outcome that will appear real to the mind. And if I've done it already, then there's no question about whether or not I can do it again. It's the way you build confidence. It's the way you build anticipation. It's the way you see beyond the moment. Life is about seeing beyond your circumstances and not being anchored in your past. Far too many people consult their past to gain permission to do something different in their future. The past doesn't have the ability to give you permission or to validate something that it has not experienced. So you've got to create the experience through visualization. You've got to create the experience from your imagination. What would it look like if you did it? How will it feel if you did it? The emotion attached to the experience is what anchors it. And that emotion is so strong that every time you visit the idea, you incite the emotion. That emotion creates a chemical release in your body that gives you a surge of excitement, a surge of feel good. It's a release of a multiplicity of endorphins, hormones, and neurotransmitters that literally keep you going. This is a proven scientific method, and it begins with an epiphanic experience, which I create in this transformational process. And then you can take it from there, or you can decide that you want to finish the journey with me. But what you've got to do is get out of that stuck position. What you've got to do is get out of the idea that poverty is your lot in life. Get out of your idea that the only way I'm going to do it is just existing and surviving. Get out of that idea that all I'm going to ever do is be on this job that I hate and I'm never going to experience life beyond this. This is my lot in life. There's no such thing as a lot in life. Your lot in life is something you chose not to challenge. And so you are now living perpetually in it. Challenge the things in your life that you're not satisfied with. Challenge to go beyond what you're not satisfied with and you don't enjoy. I'm not telling you that when you move up in life and you meet certain goals and you have certain things that there still aren't there's always challenges, and there should be, because you should always be reaching higher. There are going to be setbacks, there are going to be delays, there are going to be frustrations. What I'm telling you is, if there's a place you want to be, you can get there. I don't care how far away you are from it, you can get there. You couldn't tell the average person that a little boy that never knew his dad from the inner city would end up with multiple degrees, with multiple companies, having written 28 books, having clients on multiple continents, and speaking and changing and writing programs and curriculums for universities, having books literally that he has written being taught in classes in universities. You couldn't tell the people back then. You couldn't even really tell me it would go like this. I knew I was going to do something different than everybody else did. That was just what I was striving for. But what I can tell you is, when you wake up every day and say, I'm not going to be the same person when I go to sleep, that I'm going to intentionally change and transform my life. You do that daily, a little bit at a time. I'm going to read a chapter or something, a book. I'm going to study or review a study on something each day. I'm going to search out information that I have not seen each day. I'm going to reach out to people that I admire, people that I look up to. I'm always searching for the space where I am not that person in the room. Something my grandfather told me, I couldn't have been either right at approaching a teenager, or maybe I had become a teenager, but I was young and he had already looked at me. My grandfather had a second grade education, but he valued education, and he thought the world of me and how I thought and how I moved. And the crazy thing is, being old fashioned, my grandparents still supported my weird way of thinking, the fact that I questioned everything that they were taught not to question. And something my grandfather said to me that has stuck with me, a few things. The first thing he said to me is, never be the smartest person in the room. He said, I love you. You're smart. He says, you know things that I've never even thought about, but don't be the smartest person in the room, because the moment you become the smartest person in the room, you stop growing. I want you to keep growing, son. Do you understand me? Yes, sir. Say the second thing is, always fill your space. And I said, what do you mean, Daddy? He said, never leave the world or the space, the room, the person, the way you found them. Every life you touch, leave it blessed. And I have lived my life doing the best I can. I'm not perfect. I've made some mistakes, but every day I want to bless somebody. Every day I want to touch somebody. I get chills just thinking about that conversation. A little overwhelmed, actually. But I tell you what, it shifted the way I moved. It put me in a place where I cared about something more than myself. And the more I cared about something outside of myself, the more I received to validate who I was. And so I didn't chase the things, I made them chase me by chasing my purpose. I'm trying to tell you, when you build a legacy that says, I came, I saw, I conquered, I touched, I healed, I lifted, I edified, I empowered, all the ancillary stuff will take care of itself. I'm building a legacy, and I want you to understand that there's something out there for you. There's something out there bigger than what you're experiencing. There's something out there that is a representation of God in your life. Your representation of God in your life isn't how many times you can say God. It isn't how many times you can say Jesus. It's not how many times you can say whatever word you use to let people know you believe in God. Your best representation of God is the life you live. I remember walking in the kitchen my fourth grade year as a 9-year-old, walking in the kitchen, and it was a rough day at school. I was in what they called an accelerated learning class. So I was in the class with fourth, fifth, and sixth graders, and they were picking on me. Obviously, the new kid and 9-year-old with 10 and 11 and 12-year-olds. And I'm in there and they're picking on me, and they start this rumor and everybody's laughing, and I go home crying. And I go in the kitchen and I tell my mom, hey, they're doing this here. And I said, I just want to stop. Tell me what I can do to convince them that that's not what I did, or that's not who I am. And my grandmother said two things to me. One I've heard quite a bit since then, and that was, she said, look, stop trying to change their mind. The truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it, turn it loose, and it'll defend itself. The truth is undefeated, son. And I remember that. And I've seen it and heard it. I've even seen it on memes, but I remember hearing that. She said, just turn it loose. I'm assuming it's an African proverb or something, because my grandmother was born in 1917. But and then the second thing she said, stop trying to convince people of who you are. Let the life that you live speak for you. And that's the way you evangelize people into your faith. You don't talk about it. You don't tell them. You let them see it. You let them approach you and go, hey, look, I saw. And I'm going to tell you, some of the best times to let God be represented, manifest in your life is when you're going through something. When people are expecting you to fold, but your shoulders squared and head up and smiling and serving and working and doing. That's when you start to be a representation of God in your life. Is when people can look at you and sit up and say, man, I don't know how he's getting through it, man. I've had a person who I respected. I had a person who I respected, immensely. Somebody I consider to be a strong person of faith that knew I was going through something back in 2012. And the way this person would talk to me, it was like this high level of reverence. And I asked them, I said, with everything I'm going through, and the easy way to view it would be to look at me and look down on me or feel sorry for me. But I'm looking at you, and you treat me with nothing but reverence and respect. And she said, first and foremost, I'm not looking at where you're at. I'm looking at where you're going. Second, I'm looking at the God in the situation and how he's working in you. Third, the way you're handling it has me wanting to upgrade my faith. That's how you represent God. You represent God in the times where people think you ought to be crying and you're smiling. Not that fake smile, not that I'm just trying to pretend smile, but that smile that literally transcends the moment. That smile that defies the logic. That smile that says, I'm unbreakable. Matter of fact, a part of my prayer and meditation is a journaling process. And at the end of it, I say, I'm unshakable, I'm unbreakable, I'm unstoppable. Today I win. And it's every morning. I wake up and the first thing out of my mouth is thank you. The next thing is I am immensely grateful. Why? Because it doesn't matter what I've been through. It doesn't matter what I'm going to go through. I'm blessed. And it's the mentality and the mindset that I use when I'm facing down every challenge that takes me to the next level. And I teach people how to do the same thing. And so I want you to be a part of that. I want you to take advantage of this opportunity. Not everybody can pay $15,000 to work with me for a year, but somebody can say, look, I just want to see if I can take this and move something with it. So again, I'm going to give you this rapid transformation session. And I tell you, this is intense. This is an intense encounter. Now I'm going to give you not just one, I'm going to give you the second one on me and my time outside of my mind. My time is my most valuable asset. Some people will tell you your time is, no, my mind. My mind is the value of all that I will ever accumulate in any way, shape, form, or fashion. It is what produces. It's the most blessed thing that God has given me. And outside of that is time, because I can't get that back. And I tell you what, when I give you my time, it's because I believe in you. I don't even know you, but if you step up, I promise you, I will take you to a place that you never thought possible. And I will leave you in a way that you're going to touch other people. You will have no choice. People ask me, how am I a blessing beyond my reach? And it's because I'm contagious. I'm infectious. I don't look to simply affect people. I look to infect them. And when you infect someone, you make them contagious. They are carrying a contagion that you gave them. And as they come into contact with other people, they infect them too. And that infection begins to spread. And except for infecting them with something negative, you're infecting them with hope. You're infecting them with an increased faith. You're infecting them with confidence. You're infecting them with aspirations. You're infecting them with a belief beyond what they have ever experienced. That's what I do. So I'm challenging you. Make this the day that you do something different. Make this the day that you start a transformation. Make this a day that you take advantage of this. This is a limited time. Like I said, I'm only taking 25 people again. I'm giving my time in this. And so it's got to be in consideration of that. But I want to work with you. I want to have an opportunity to show you something beyond what you've been experiencing and introduce you to a process that if you apply to your life, you will see a difference throughout the remainder of your life. Life is a progression. You should be becoming something better than you are today. So on that note, look, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. I once again thank you so much for your time. The link to sign up, if you can still sign up, that means that you're within the quota. Once we hit 25 people, the link will go dead and you won't be able to get access to sign up, and that'll let you know that the offer is over. But we still will have the regular breakthrough sessions, except it will only be one session for the same price. But this one, you're going to get 2 sessions for that price, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. For those of you who believe in it, make it happen. As I always say, I live my life on full so that when I leave this place, I die on E. I challenge you to do the same thing.